Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Mike Plays RP1. This is the episode where I, as a veteran KSP player but novice RP1 player, try to take on the hardest collections of mods KSP has to offer. Well, at least that's what they tell me, but RP1 does add a real scale solar system, historical parts, and historical contracts into the mix, turning Kerbal space program into a much more realistic simulator. Anyway, at the conclusion of the last episode, a link to which you can find up here towards the top right, actually had quite a few successes. I think we put our third object into space. I think I gotta take a look to be sure, but yes, third object into space, into orbit, and that would have been Explorer 1. It is here. We can take a look at it down here. Actually, I changed it to Explorer 2 because if you recall, Explorer 1, I kind of botched it. But anyway, it is up in orbit right now. It's still got about 18 hours and 21 minutes of electric charge left aboard, and it is doing this first scientific satellite. It needs to be up there for a day. I think the counter goes away, but if I go to it, it'll be fine. It has plenty of electric charge, so it will be fine, and it is up there doing what it needs to do. It's in the orbit in which it's required. It's just nothing is green here because we're not with it right now, so it doesn't know. But as soon as I go there, it will go, and it'll be good. The other satellite we have in orbit is Solar Phase 2. Now, Solar Phase 3 down here, and you can see right now it does not have a connection. The battery level is down to, actually, this is bad. The EC level is down to 0, but the duration says perpetual. I don't have a communication with it because the batteries are down to 0, and yeah, just before I started recording, it was actually kind of popping in and out. Every time it tried to establish communication, the battery would go to 0. Now I think it's at 0 perpetually. And it's saying perpetual here because I think it is. You know what? Why don't we go just check it out? Just to show that I think this thing is at its end of its life. Yes, it is in the sun, but I believe it is coughing up blood, and the reason for that is that these are the first solar panels that you unlock, and they degrade very quickly. It has been in orbit. Let's see. Oh, it's been in orbit for 86 days, so that's not insignificant, but it's gotten to the point where it just can't do anything useful for me anymore. It can't, because of the degradation on the solar panels, it can't keep the batteries charged. Maybe, no, I don't have a communication, so I don't even think I can do anything with it. No, I can't. So I think this thing is done. And that's a little bit, well, I guess 86 days isn't terrible. That's how much life I can get out of these things. So let's pop back to the Space Center, and I'll talk about what other stuff I have going. So at the conclusion of last episode, this is what I was going to get started with at the beginning, I was working on Solar Phase 4, which has just begun the integration process. And it was going to do, let me bring up my contracts here. Anytime, there they are. It was going to do this one, where is it? Atmospheric analysis contract. That's what I was going for. So it's got to go up and reach orbit, do a pressure scan and a temperature scan, have enough batteries to be able to do that, and then just stay up for 2 minutes. So pretty easy. I'm just taking a look. There are no, oh, it has already reached the, oh no, it's confused because I just went to, never mind. Let's look at it here. It's confused because the satellite I just went to had the correct orbital requirements, but this one does not. So let's take a look at this in here, which is this one, and it is this one. That's also confusing. It has to be in an orbit with an apogee of over 616 kilometers, a perigee of over 250 kilometers. And so I was looking at that, and I was closing in on getting those orbital parameters, and the episode just ran out. So I'm very confident that I could do it. But the other thing I was thinking about is I could also do, at the same time, this one. This is the first Sun-Synchronus Orbit. And I sort of made the decision last episode. Originally, I was going to do both of these at the same time. Then I made the decision last episode to maybe separate those into 2 separate missions. And now I'm back towards thinking maybe I should do them both at the same time again. Anyway, what the Sun-Synchronus Orbit requires me to do is to put it into an orbit with a perigee of over 300 kilometers, but an eccentricity below 0.04. So that means pretty close to a circular orbit, and an inclination between 95 and 99 degrees, pretty close to a polar orbit. And then stay up there for 2 days, or 2 hours, sorry. And I thought, yeah, the Solar Phase 4 didn't have the DV to get into this the necessary polar orbit. As well, it has an SRB on the top, which makes getting into a nice circular orbit a little bit tricky, because once you fire that SRB, it is done. But then that got me thinking. Explorer 1, let's pop out of here. The Explorer 1 satellite that's already up here, that is, or now the Explorer 2 satellite, it has an let's take a look at it, and I can show you much more what I'm talking about. If I take a look at Explorer 1, and look at this. I put all my old vessels into a separate folder. Somebody suggested doing that, so only my active ones are here. So look how nice and short that is. Anyway, Explorer 1, this is the one I was working on here. This is this one. This has a little baby Sergeant on top of it, and it got itself into a nice orbit. But the thing is there's not enough space on this one to mount a pile of solar panels. But then I was thinking my solar panels are kind of crap to begin with, so maybe what I should do is not really worry about it, do enough electricity to make sure it can do that temperature and pressure thing that it's supposed to do. And then otherwise, don't worry about it, and then wait until I get better solar panels, which should be unlocking pretty soon. I think they are in the research queue. There they are. Medium solar panels. So the better solar panels are currently being researched. That's what the blue means. And then get this guy just to do both of them. That's what I'm kind of thinking about. That's what I'm kind of leaning towards. I'm thinking that might be just a more efficient use of my resources. So I think I'm going to make a little bit of a change. I'm going to call this guy Explorer 3, I suppose, because Explorer 2 really is the one that's up there. Let's save that as Explorer 3. And the other thing is, if this doesn't have the DV required to get into that necessary polar orbit, what I have as an option is I can step up the baby Sergeants. I have all kinds of options with the baby Sergeants to... Where are my little SRBs? And I'll show you what I means. Yes, the baby Sergeants can pile up to a 3-pack and pile up to an 11-pack like that, and these guys can nest inside each other, so I can get actually quite a lot of extra DV out of the technology that I have without adding a huge amount of weight. These are pretty small, and probably get the job done. So that's what I'm kind of leaning towards. So here's I think new plan. I'm gonna take the Explorer 3, gonna try and do those 2 satellites at the same time, and then we'll take Explorer 4. Let me show you where Explorer 4, or not Explorer, I'm getting all my names mixed up. Solar Phase 4, that's the one with solar panels on it. It's less than 1% integrated. I don't know, it'd be pretty easy just to take the payload part out of this. The whole booster part is exactly the same for both rockets, so I could take advantage of the small amount of integration and just simply swap the payloads, or I can it might be simpler just to simply cancel this one because it's hardly along at all, and then just build a new one. Anyway, I'm thinking that's going to be the plan. And I should also point out that very, very soon, it's 86% of the way researched, coming up on October 24th, that is only 14 days away, I will have orbital rocketry. Orbital rocketry gives me a whole pile of new engines, give me the ability to build a bigger lifter. That's going to be one of the other things. And I know as well, I'm very confident it gives me a better X-plane engine. Excuse me. A better X-plane engine. That's the engine that's powering the X6 that you saw. I get an upgrade to that. Hopefully I can do the 2,000 meter per second speed record and get that one and finish the X-planes program off. So lots of things happening. Anyway, let's simulate this guy and see what she can do for us. Okay, so I'm going to ignore this for now because that is all incorrect anyway. Let's open up our contracts. So I'm going for two of them. One is this atmospheric analysis one. Again, have to get above 616 kilometers. The other is this first, wait a minute, I'm getting mixed up. This Sun-Synchronus Orbit one. So you can, do I have them under, see if I can organize this a little bit better. If I go to uncrewed. Okay, first scientific satellite we don't care about. That one we care about, and this one we care about. There we go, that's a little better. This one is to get above 330 kilometers, or 300 kilometers, so I got to get above 616, and get an inclination between 95 and 99. So what we're going to do is we're going to use McJeb. Let's open up our guidance guys here. Let's do the early cutoff stage is stage 0. Oh yeah, they're showing here. Okay, so we're going to make this, let's go with 650 by 650. Now that I'm learning a little bit more about McJeb, I think I'm feeling a little more confident with getting this right. And the inclination has to be between 95 and 99. So let's split the difference and be 90, 97. Okay. And then what I can do is I'm not going to mess with any of this stuff just yet. I'm going to engage this. And I should get a burn plan. And right away, I can see here that it's telling me I'm going to come 2,506 meters per second short. So instead of launching this as it is, right, I can see that this is going to come short. What we're going to do is we're going to add some more sergeants onto this and see if I can add on another about 2,500 meters per second. So saving myself, learning, you learn stuff and then you learn to save yourself some time. How's that for a thought? Okay, revert back to the editor. So 2,500 meters per second I need. Probably a little more than that. Revert to editor. Okie doke. So let's open up our DV stats on this fella. So right now we have a total vacuum delta V of 10,475. We want to add on about another 2,500. Now I'm not sure actually what we were just looking at, if that was including, if that was a vacuum DV or if that was, but whatever. We're gonna go, let's see what happens. We'll just do this one step at a time. If we take this off, we get, I guess gotta remember how to do this right. We're gonna put on the trio and see what that does for us. Actually, I didn't even look. What is the old number? Goodness sakes. 10,475. So what I would like to do is get up in around the 12,900. That feels like a lot. Maybe I won't go quite. I mean, up to about like 13 kilometers per second I'm gonna need. But you know what? Let's just add the trio and see what that does for us. So I need to have, this is the little thing for the trio. It's a very specific decoupler for it. And then I got to go to my rocket engines and scroll down and find the trio. That's where it goes right there. And then this, I'm hoping will just stick under this. Okay. I already have a decoupler right there. Might put in the, we'll fiddle with this. Okay, let's check the staging a bit. So we got that decoupled. Nope, that's wrong. Okay, so put this with this with this. So that's going to be the last stage. This goes with, oh boy, this is totally wrong. With that, that's right. Then that's all right for the Stentor stay. Okay, that's all right. And then the bottom two engines on the bottom. And that gives me now 11.5. So it was an extra little over 1,000 meters per second. I'm not convinced. It just feels big. Let's simulate this and let's see how she works. So we're going to simulate this. Okay, we'll engage this. There's our prediction, but I'm not convinced. Is it looking at the fact that we're on sea level right now? It just feels like that's a lot short. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this a launch and we're going to see if it gets any better. Now, I'm going to not do the whole coast phase and all that kind of stuff. We're going to take that out. We do have an unguided stages. So unguided stages, actually I probably should have put that in before, are both stage 0 and stage 1. Do I just type them like 1, 0 like that? Looks like it. Looks like it. Does the order matter? It looks like optimize is only on the top. Marks them both as unguided. Does it matter if I went 0, 1? Nah, it doesn't seem to care. Okay. Does that change this? I don't know. I'm not convinced of the flight. Let's just do this and see what it does. So we've got that engaged. All I have to do is hit the space bar. So, bomb. Oh, I didn't even look at the science. I got the cosmic ray science still on this thing, so I don't have the right science, so we'll fix all that in a bit too, but first things first. Alright, so this still says about 1,500 kilometers or meters per second short. Let's give it a little time warp. Doesn't seem to be getting better. If anything, it seems to be getting worse on its prediction. That's okay. Alright, so they weren't messing around. I do need that extra. I do need more. It's getting worse on its prediction as it ascends. I was hoping this number would get better, but it's getting worse. We're now at negative 1,900 meters per second. We'll just make sure the staging all works. I just realized, too, I got to fix the science on the top, so still stuff to do. I can also take out a lot of the batteries because this thing only has to survive, I think, for a couple of hours. So, staging. On to the next one. Very steep ascent. I'm assuming it knows what it's doing. People convince me that it does. Convince me that it does. Our apogee is now... Where's our orbital data? See, it's well over the target apogee, but it has to do with the fact that right now it's not super low thrust. It's getting close to 2 Gs right now. We'll just watch and see what it does. And don't forget, this is 4 baby sergeants all told. I can add on another 11. So I got a lot of ability to put more oomph into this. Okay, so now it's bringing its pitching way down. We're way up into space. But again, it could be getting screwed up because our target is so far short. Like looking at, I'm thinking I got to add on about another 1,900. That's great, plus 1,900. On to this. Let's see what the 11 does for me. Okay, there goes that. This is almost done. Oh, and there goes that. It didn't do the last staging. Oh, because this is not an unguided stage. Yes, McJeb, as soon as you lose the guided part. We ended up in a 944 on the apogee, but well, perigee's not close to being in orbit. It said I was going to be about 1,900 meters per... Okay, let's bring this back. Revert to editor. Let's start by fixing the science. So we're going to take this whole bottom part off for now. And let's make sure that the science is doing what it's supposed to do. So for the atmospheric analysis, I got to do a pressure scan and a temperature scan while in low space. That is it. That is all the science requirement that it needs. So we're going to go to here. We're going to close this because I don't care. We're going to go to configure the science. There it is. Configure the experiments. And we're going to just simply a barometer and a thermometer. That's it. Okay. And we'll run that. It's got the electronics. Okay. Now what about, that's the only science. What about the science that's needed for the Sun-Synchronus Orbit? If any. Might not need any. Nope. This is just about hitting the right orbital parameters. No science required. Okay. So what we're going to do, this has enough batteries in it. All right, let's close this, open this, run both of those experiments, or get them running. This says it has a duration for 20 hours. Now, if I look at, let's configure the science again. I know I have to run a complete barometer scan and a complete temperature scan. And they take, let's see, the temperature scan takes 10 minutes. This takes 10 minutes. And then the whole probe needs to live for, I've forgotten again, 2 hours. So, when I run these experiments, it's going to use up 20 minutes of electricity. That's the way I'm going to think about it. And then if it survives for another 2 hours, I think I meet the requirements. This one also says 2 hours. So what I want is 2 hours and 20 minutes on the battery life. So we're going to take out a lot of these batteries. And that will save weight. And weight at the top always saves you a lot. Okay, and we'll do a little change here to see what that does. That's still 20 hours worth of batteries, 100 joules. Oh, I don't think I hit applied. Apply and preserve dimensions. And then you always have to make a change to get it to be reflected in the waiting. 57 minutes, so that's too little. Okay, so 500. I didn't hit the apply and preserve dimensions. Apply and preserve dimensions, make a little change. That's 4 hours and 47 minutes. Let's try 250. Make a change here. That's 2 hours and 23 minutes. That's cutting it a little fine. So I'm going to go with 300 kilojoules of electric charge. This has brought down the weight a lot. That's 2 hours and 52 minutes. I think that probably is okay. So if I bring this on board, that gets me, what was I shooting for? About 13K. I'm now at 1294. So I don't think I'm quite there yet. So what I'm going to do next is bring in the big boys, the 11 thing. So you have to, again, there's a special decoupler for the 11 cluster. That fits right here. And it needs to be on its own stage. It is. This needs to be on the same stage as... Oh boy. It's already kind of confused. Oh no, I understand what's going on. Okay, and now I got to go to my SRBs. Find that cluster of 11. They fit on here. I've been kind of eager to find a reason to do this anyway. So there's that. Then that stages, and this goes at the same time. Now I'm going to need to come up with a better... This has got to get better. I got to fix the bottom here. Where is that? Yeah, this is not acceptable, so I'll have to make this bigger. Okay, let's take this off. Get a different decoupler. I'm looking at you, the hollow interstage. Put that in there. God, that's just pretty darn close just on its own, isn't it? We'll bring the scale down a little bit, the diameter. No, I think it was pretty good right there. Probably can bring the vertical scale down a bit. So this now has a diameter of 900 millimeters. So now what I'm thinking is taking this guy and simply taking the top. Oh, this is making it into a cylinder. 900 millimeters. Like that's just a cylinder now. This is still called tooled. So if I bring the length down, yeah, then I gotta retool it. So if I don't bring the length down, I don't have to retool it. So I might just leave it just like that. This has a weight requirement of 10. I'm checking all the weights now. This is a near-Earth core which has guidance systems in it, so it can handle a weight of a rocket of 10 tons. So I just want to make sure I did not exceed that with the second stage. So we're just going to click on this, and we're going to open these up, and we're going to remove the bottom stage and check our mass here. And our mass is still under 10 tons, so that is good. Put that back. Close these. This one can handle a mass of up to 75 tons, and we're still under 75 tons for the whole rocket, so it should be good. Just make sure this looks okay at the bottom. Okay, we'll check our staging. I don't think our staging looks right. Nope. So this guy needs to be in a separate stage, and this decoupler. Oh, it's way here. That decoupler needs to be in that stage. All right, it's a beastie, but let's save it and simulate and see if we can do this thing. And if this can't do it, what I will do is simply go back to the simple Explorer 1 bit and just do each experiment separately. I think I'm going to abandon this using solar panels until I get the better. So if I don't need the solar panels, I'm not going to use them until I get better solar panels. That is the plan. Okay, this is a thing. All these parameters are still the same, so we'll engage. What's it give? Oh, we got a positive number here. A positive number. That is good. So let's just stage and see what happens. Bring up our contracts. Now keep in mind, we need to have, here, let's close this, and we've got too many windows open. We do need to have a certain eccentricity, or an eccentricity we need to have a pretty close to lower than zero, a close to circular orbit. So there's a couple of things I was thinking about in order to achieve that. Number one is, I could just gradually bring up this target until it just comes out to be circular, or I can reduce the amount of fuel in the SRBs to make them have less to get it circular. So we'll adjust the DV so it ends up becoming hopefully a circular orbit when it's all said and done. Anyway, we'll see how this does. It's definitely a thing. But there's not actually any new tooling that needs to be done as much more significant as this top piece looks. And to be honest, it kind of makes me smile a bit, so I'm going to just kind of stick with it. I've also not used the coast phase. That's the other option. Somebody was suggesting trying not using that coasting phase, just firing the SRBs right away. I don't know. I'm back and forth on that one. Might experiment with that. But either way, this is doing what it needs to do. I think I should probably look at this one, really, is the one that's the more orbit specific. Okay, so we are staging. There we go. Still very, very steep ascent, which I find interesting. But I'm going to assume it knows what it's doing. And I did have, it knew about the unguided stages and all that kind of stuff. Yep, it knows these two are unguided. I put that information in. Oh, I've noticed now this has gone negative. That's not encouraging. That's not encouraging because I am getting to the top end of how much DV I can put into this. But maybe a coast phase might extend that. Anyway, let's do a little time warping here. But look at that apogee. It is just skyrocketing. over 1,000 kilometers now, but then at some point this thing is going to pitch over hard and start bringing that apogee down. That's the way it thinks. Okay, this negative is becoming less negative. Yes, it is. Maybe? No, it's just dancing around. Yeah, it's just dancing around. Okay, here comes that hard pitch over. Okay, there goes that. Nope. And that one. I actually didn't stage that second one. That was interesting. And it's not there. But you can see how much the apogee came down. It did not quite have the DV to required needed to do it. It does have, let me just make sure about electricity, that at least that part of it's working the way it's supposed to. There are 3 hours of electric charge aboard, so the electricity piece of it should be fine. Okay, let's try that launch again. Let's try it with a coast phase. Let's see what it thinks of that. So restart. Okay, so we're gonna open up the ascent stage here, or ascent settings and the PVG settings, and we're gonna add in a coast stage. So we want to coast. After stage number 3, because 3 is this guy. So when we're done stage 3, I would like to coast. Let's see what it does for thinking for us with that added in. Okay, and then we will engage, and then we'll look at its preview here. So what we're going to do is we're going to burn. And then, okay, we're going to burn the first stage for 120 seconds. That's right. Then we're going to burn this stage for 150 seconds. That's 2.5 minutes. That's exactly what I wanted to do. That's the full burn on the Stentor stage. Then it's going to coast. And I want, take the fixed length off. There we go. Does it have to rethink? I don't know if I have to engage and re-engage again. Oh, I got a last failure. What? Converged optimizing failed. I don't want to do the fixed length of the coast. Coast stage. Okay, that it didn't mind. Now let's put the coast stage back in. Disengage, engage. Where's your prediction for me? It's not giving me a prediction. Oh, there it is. It doesn't, yeah, it's having trouble doing it. Interesting. So I guess it's saying it can't do it. It likes, if I put in the fixed cost length, or fixed coast length of 0, again, disengage, engage. Now it's happy, but then it's like just firing right away. What if I put in a coast length of 10 seconds? Again, just experimenting here. Now notice here it's got 62 meters per second for its prediction for the extra DV. I said 10 seconds, right? Oh, wait, it isn't in here. 10 seconds. There we go. Now it's got in there. And now look at how much the DV is. Interesting. Like extra plus. So if I put in 30 seconds, do a coast phase 4. Coast phase is making a big difference. Okay, what if I put in 60 seconds coast phase? Oh, that's 600 seconds. That can't be right. 60 seconds. So a minute. Disengage, engage. Now it's doing the calculation without too much trouble. What if I put in like 5 minutes? 300 seconds. Again, just experimenting. This is how I learn. Now I got a negative burn time here. How does that make any sense? How does that make any sense? Oh, it's not even using the top stage now. That's the way I interpret that. Interesting. But if I take out the fixed coast length, it doesn't like it at all. Yeah, then I get the optimizer doesn't work. So put in the fixed coast length. So this is like a 5-minute wait between. Let's just see what this does. It seems to like it. It seems to think we don't even need the top stage. At least this is the way I interpret it. Okay, let's disengage, or let's hit the space bar. And let's see what she does. I'm learning. I think I'm learning. All right, up we go. Now I'm curious how much it's going to adjust its profile now that I put in this, coast for 5 minutes. I'm assuming it's not going to bring up the apogee as much as it did before. See, I would think the most efficient way for this thing to go is to actually coast up to apogee, which is what it should be doing. If I take this out and take out the time, whoops, I got the wrong one. Take out that time. If I just untoggle that, what it's supposed to do, I think, is coast to apogee. But maybe there's just something happening, just not going right. I don't know. Anyway, we're about to lose our Atlas stage. Center stage. Notice a lot more sensible. Not going up as steeply as it did before, which is good. Again, we're shooting for a 650-kilometer orbit. Again, according to this, don't even need the last stage. So we might be onto something. We'll just see what this does for me. Maybe we can lose that cluster of 11. As much as I love the cluster of 11, maybe I can lose the cluster of 11. Okay, so this is going to burn for 2.5 minutes, like it's a full burn, right? It's planning to do? I think so. Yes, I'm pretty sure. Full burn on this stage. Time warp off. Apogee is now completely reasonable. Apogee is also over 6 minutes away. I might increase this to a 10-minute wait to apogee. Okay. It's readjusting its attitude. I suspect what it's doing is pointing itself in a good spot so that 5 minutes from now. But I'm looking at this time to apogee and thinking 10 minutes might be a better choice. Oh, we have a failed optimizer McJob. Anyway, I'm letting this get to attitude. What I think it's doing is adjusting its attitude so it'll be probably a little bit below prograde when it fires this engine. It's the apogee's already something pretty darn reasonable. Maybe that's what was messing up the coast to apogee thing, is that the top stage was totally unnecessary. Which, of course, simplifies my ideas pretty dramatically. Okay, I think it has settled into its attitude, so I'm going to time warp away this 235 seconds now. Okay, you got about a minute to go. I'll take the time warp off. All right, let's leave that there. So time warp is off. Got 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Next one. And then the last one, for whatever reason, I have to do manually. And our orbit is easily, it's way too much. We didn't need that last stage. All right. That was encouraging. The coast stay. Oh, it was all about the coast. It was all about the coast. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to lose, at least temporarily, this cluster of 11. There we go. So, wait. No, this comes off next. There. We're going with this as our stage, and we're going to see if I can make this work. So, again, we're going to check our staging here, because this gets all discombobulated. Yep, that's right. This needs to just be here, and the rest of that's right. Okay, we're going to bring down the diameter of this. Be higher than that. That feels good. About 1/2 meter, and then we're going to bring down the diameter of this to 1/2 meter, so it looks kind of all right. Other than that, we're not going to change anything. So there's our new setup. Yeah, let's simulate this one. Save it. Simulate. Okay, close this. Put this on PVG settings. And I'm going to try and take the fix coast out. Again, I think coasting to apogee is the best plan. The coast phase is now stage 2, though. The unguided stages are still 0 and 1. And after stage 2, we coast. Okay, engage autopilot. Are you going to give me a calculation? It's still working on it. Oh, failure to reach. Okay, failure to reach acceptable. So it might not have the DV it needs. Which honestly, now I'm thinking about it, it's probably... Let's put in the 600-second fixed coast thing. So this doesn't have the DV. So the 11th thing is going... I think I got to bring the 11 back. Oh, hang on. Hang on. Once I put in this, the wait for 10 minutes, suddenly now it feels it doesn't need the top stage again. Maybe just take all the frickin' fuel out of the top one and just leave it and call it that. All right. All right. Again, yeah, doesn't feel it needs the top one. Okay, we will fire you up and see if this is a happy... See if this is a happy pappy. Oh, you know, I'm sure there are people watching this that are veteran RP1 players going, finally, he's figured it out. But it really feels like a door has opened for me. That I'm not just shooting in the dark here. I am looking at this going, okay. Well, we lost the cluster of 11. We're going to wait for 10 minutes. Again, I'm getting this failure optimized thing. But in the PVG settings, it still knows the top 2 stages are unguided. It does. Well, we'll see what we end up with. And whoa, 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 it is the hard pitch over this time. Hard pitch over. But we'll trust ya. Trust you. We're about to lose. Here, do that. Okay, on to here. Good, good, good. And we are in control. A little bit of a yaw, but now we're back on everything centered again here. Always when, you know, the air is pretty thin here, but, you know, when you're that far away from, the angle of attack was that high. This thing is not exactly, you know, it's not like the RCS blocks on here are particularly huge. These are the only means of attitude control here are these RCS blocks, and they're not huge ones. I've had people suggest either make these bigger or put another setup at the front, because that makes perfect sense to do that, but that of course is adding weight, and if I don't need to, I would prefer not to have to. I'm gonna actually monitor, where is the tank that holds the that propellant? It's that one, isn't it? Yeah, this is the propellant for the RCS blocks, and it's out of sync because HTP is also used on the main engine, so that resource is shared. It's the helium though is purely for the RCS blocks, so it's when this helium runs out that you know. It all works out. Somebody was suggesting also changing fuel priorities so that this will be a dedicated helium tank and all, or a dedicated RCS tank. But I think it all comes out in the wash. I'm not sure if that's important. We'll see. Okay, so I can deal with this fixed coast time rather than, you know, coasting to apogee. I'm comfortable with that. Okay, here we are. You can see we've used up maybe a quarter of the available propellant for the RCS, so I think we're fine. I don't think there's an issue. All right. Okay, now it is reorienting itself in not the way I would have expected. That's interesting. Oh, you know what? We're more than... Oh, no, it's 15 minutes from apogee. Apogee is a monstrous 920. When it should be 650. Okay, it looks to me like... Let's do this with the physics warp. I think it's found its vector. So I'm just going to time warp. So we're time warping to the end of this time period, and like, what? You're gonna point up? Really? That's your plan, McJeb? Let's see if it'll let it. That's weird. I thought for a moment when I saw it pointing up like this that it's gonna go past its apogee, but it's not. Oh, I'm gonna assume you know what you're doing. Okay, what do we got? We got 142 seconds. Let's time warp that away. Oh, getting close to the end here. I want to start a little early in case it needs to reorient itself a little bit, but that is exceedingly peculiar as far as my sensibilities go. We're still, you know, over 5 minutes from apogee, but it's going to go in 10 seconds. 8, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fire. And that makes no sense. Why? It makes no sense why it did that. Again, we do have this, had trouble doing the calculating. And obviously firing off the next stage isn't going to help me any because it's pointing in the wrong direction. All this is doing is bringing up the apogee, not bringing it down. Okay, let's try something different. Revert to editor. No, restart. Okay, so the 10-minute wait didn't like. Let's go back to the 5-minute coast. Engage. And it's thinking, failure, target is unreachable. And if I take out the fixed coast length entirely, I don't think it likes that. I think I'm going to be bringing the 11 cluster of 11 back. I think it's saying the same thing, target is unreachable. Okay, and 600 seconds? Oh, wait, I don't have the fixed. Put the fix back in. Put the fix back in. So 300, so 5 minutes, 300 seconds. Doesn't like that. But 600 seconds, it seemed to like that at one point. But we know that it behaves very strangely. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring back that cluster of 11. So revert to the editor. Back up to here. That cluster of 11's coming back. Now this did it comfortably. What I might be doing, like what I could do. Okay, let's bring cluster of 11 back. We'll do that first. SRBs. There they are. Fix that staging up. So you, and then you, yep, like that. But maybe the thing to do I mean, I could simply bring up the diameter of this at the bottom. Oh, it's bringing up the hole there. That, is it say it's tooled? Where's the tooling thing? No, it's asking me to retool it if I do that. Which I'm not inclined to do. Bring down that bottom again. Oh dear. Okay, bring that out. Put that back. Bottom up. Can't remember what it... Here, just do a bunch of Control Zs, for goodness. Cancel. This is now tooled. Okay. I'll put this back. That's right. Okay. I'm inclined, if I need to simply take out, just not fire this one. I don't want to retool this, I guess is what I'm saying. Like I think I have an unnecessary booster on the top. Okay, we're going to increase the diameter of this. I think it was to 900 millimeters. Yep. And increase the diameter of this. Oh, I have 0. What did I have in here again? Was it 250? Oh my gosh. Why did that change on me? Because I was fooling around. That's why. Here. Open up Don't save this. Bring back my old one. This was Explorer 3. There it is. Okay. Try again. I need that. I need that. Sometimes you just gotta go back to your saved version. That goes there. So let's check staging. That's the bottom. That goes with this. That goes here. That goes here. Okay. That needs to be 900 millimeters in diameter, as does this. Okay, beautiful. Now, yeah. Let's save this, simulate. This is the configuration that got itself into the required orbit easily. So that's why I'm back to this again. 650, 650, 10-minute fixed coast length. Engage. It seems super happy, and it seems to think it just does not need that top stage. Which I'm fine with. I just maybe just not fire it. That's, yeah, if that's what it's going to say, maybe just not fire it. So we're going to go and I still have all the unguided stuff. That didn't change. Just want to make sure that coast after stage 2. No, now it's coast after stage 3. Stage 3, coast for 10 minutes. Do. Oh. Last did not figure this out. Let's disengage. Converged optimizer failed. I wonder what the staleness number means. Target is unreachable. Okay. Take the fixed coast length off. I know it is reachable. Oh, I just took the fixed coast length off. So now it's going to coast. It can't do that. It has to coast after stage 3. Oh, I got before. Okay, that's my issue. Has to coast after stage 3. That's the Stentor stage. And the reason for that is this Stentor engine cannot reignite. So like you know, there's things. Maybe my new orbital rockets will give me some upper stage engines that will be ignitable. Okay. Coast after. Put this fixed coast length back on. Let's see what that thinks. Got staleness. Just counts up, I guess. Does it just mean it's thinking? Oh, there we go. There we go. So I got a 10-minute coast at the top. Doesn't like it seems to think it needs to have the fixed coast length, and I'm not going to argue with it. Again, it does not look like it's using the top stage at all, which is fine. Okay, so let's see what this does, and I won't engage the top stage. We're just going to go that. Off we go. Off we go into the wild blue yonder. I know no more of that song. Yeah. So let's see. So the plan here is to let it burn stage 1 and stage 2, which is a cluster of 11 and the cluster of 3 that are tucked all in here, but then just not do the top stage. Now, people might be going, why not take the fuel out of the top stage? I was thinking of that myself. If you're not going to use it, I'm inclined, if this meets the orbital parameters, I'm inclined to just say, to kind of just roll with it. All right. So we're coming to that Atlas stage separation. goes. Well, and it's got its little bit of a pitch. I'm waiting for these guys to come back to a little bit of sideways motion, I think, is going on here. Yeah, it's sorting itself out. It's working it out. It's working it out. All right, and then this is going to do the full burn. And then I think McJeb will fire the cluster of 11 and the cluster of 3, and then I think it'll stop. And what I'm really interested in is how close am I to my required orbital parameters at that point. Don't forget my eccentricity has to be below, was it 0.04? I can't remember. Something like that. Pretty darn close to a circle. There may be more variability than what is acceptable. But we'll see. Like, again, one of the ideas I had for that, getting that low eccentricity, was to build a payload that had, or here we go, we're about to go, but that had RCS that I could use for control and really tweak the orbit to my heart's desire. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, that's right, we got a coast stage. So yeah, it's got to reorient itself. The apogee is 651 kilometers, so barely over what it is there, and the apogee is 10 minutes away, which is pretty darn close to the coast time. So I might just, this might be very close to what I want anyway. But anyway, what I was thinking about is if I can't get that low eccentricity with this, I was thinking of building a payload with RCS capability and using the RCS to tweak the orbit. That was the idea. Okay, so yeah, it seems to have found its orientation, so we're going to time away the coast. About 10 minutes of coast time here. We'll get that out of the way. It should be very close to pointing prograde when this is all said and done. Oh, there are like heading and pitch numbers here. I should maybe look at that. See, you can see the pitch is only negative. Is that its current pitch? That's its current pitch. Tigo. I don't know what Tigo is. Anyway, we're about here. 8 seconds. 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and there. And it should fire the next ones. And then I'm going to let it... No, you see, our apogee is way too high. Way too high on the apogee. Okay, so I got ideas. I got ideas. So what I got, you can see our apogee is too high, like 14 meters per second too high. So what I'm thinking about is I'm going to do a little bit of calculating. I know you can't see this, but to bring it from a 616 kilometer... Oh, wait, what was my... Sorry. What is it at? 651. Just doing a little bit of math on a spreadsheet that I know you can't see, so kind of enjoy the view while I'm working with this. And it ended up pushing it up to 14,196. So 14,196. So by my calculation, that is 1,665 too much. According to my spreadsheet. So 1,665 meters per second. It overdid it. So here's my thought. Take out fuel out of that trio here. Take out 1,165 meters per second. And then when it burns out, we should be there. Does that make sense? I'm hoping that makes sense. Revert to editor. So what I want to do, right now this thing has 1,354 meters, but that was the number I was guessing what I needed at the beginning of all this nonsense, wasn't it? So what I want to do is knock down the DV by 1,665. So doing the riveting thing of getting out my calculator, which of course doesn't make riveting video because you can't see it. And then I'm going to subtract 1,665, but I mean, you can imagine it. So I want to have a DV of 11,389. So we're going to go up to here. Really feels like I should just simply... Okay, let's take off this. Oops, that's not what I want. How can I get... Okay, let's take the bottom one off. Let's take off just the cluster of 11. Perfect. Okay, let's take that menu, pin it, put this back. Boom. Boom. Check our staging. It all seems okay. Yep. Okay, so I want to take fuel out of here so that I have a DV of 11,389. That's looking like I'm just emptying that. That's what's weird. Again, it feels like I should just lose this, doesn't it? Excuse me again. Like, that feels like it should do it. If it's going that much too far. I am getting close to just maybe SRBs is just not the thing to do. I mean, it's been a worthy experiment, and I have been learning a lot about McJeb, which in of itself is a valuable thing, and I'm hoping that people that are new to all this kind of stuff are also learning a lot about McJeb. But I mean, right now this, once I lost that cluster of 11, has a total DV of 12,073. So in my brain, this should be able to do it if it before went way over. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make, but it feels like I've tried this already, but we'll try it again. And if this doesn't work this time, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do the one contract only and not do the whole polar orbit Sun-Synchronous stuff. Okay, so if I open up the PVG settings, or the other, no, I think I should just, I think I need to, I don't know. Okay, keeping all this the same, let's engage you. I bet you it's going to say you can't do it. Can't do it. Target unreachable. Let's reduce this to 300. Okay, now it says I can do it. And it's saying I don't need the top stage, which, but this is the one where it did that really weird point up thing, didn't it? I think it did. What if I take the fixed coast length thingy right out of it? Gauge again. Again, saying I'm not going to use the top stage. I think it's better with the fixed coast part in. Oh wait, take it out. Was it there before? Does it take it out? 300 seconds should come out here. Engage. Oh, maybe if I take... Oh, wait a second. Take the whole coast stage out. There we go. See, now it says I'm coming short. So put the coast stage back in. Oh, coast stage should be stage 2. Stage 2. Okay, let's put the coast in, maybe? No? Let's try that. I want you to coast after stage 2. It's entirely possible I had something set wrong. Okay, now it's saying target unreachable. Let's put the fixed coast length in again. I don't know if it's actually recalculated and it's still target unreachable. No. I think I'm gonna... Because I just had another idea. Okay, it's not liking this. It thinks it's unreachable. But by my numbers, it shouldn't be unreachable. Unless there's just something I'm just not doing right. Oh, wait, there's no spin-up stage. That should come off. Why is that in the mix? Yeah. Still saying target unreachable. All right, sorry, I did have another idea. Let's keep sticking with ideas. Ideas are good. And my other idea was going back. Did I save this? I can't remember if I did or I didn't. Yeah. My other idea is going back to the cluster of 11 and just increasing the height of the orbit until I get to a circle. You know, if it can't... You know what I mean? I hope you know. Like, if it's overcooking it, just give it a higher target. Higher altitude to go for. So that goes there. This goes here. This comes up here. Done this now so many times that I'm remembering exactly what to do. This goes to 900. This goes to 900. Okay, save this. There you go. Because it feels silly to abandon this when it clearly has the DV to get the job done. That's kind of the part that, you know. So what we're going to do is now the coast stage is back to being... Oh, wait, the staging is completely... Okay, wait. I got to fix the staging. Sorry. Revert back to the editor. Fix the staging. Okay. That is the cluster of 3. That is that. That is right. That is that bottom one. And then that is the cluster of 11. That is the correct staging. Let's try that. Okay. Close this. Okay. Now the coast phase is back to being stage 3. After stage 3, more specifically. I had this at 600 seconds and it seemed to always like that. That's the, and engage that. But now it's overdoing it, right? So here's what I'm thinking is why not increase these up? Now, before I got my apogee up to 14 kilometers, what if I made this like, I don't know, like 2,000 kilometers by 2,000 kilometers? And... it seems to like that, and it still says it's not going to use that top stage. I think you're a crazy person, but, you know, who am I to argue with you? How can you think you're not going to use the top stage? What if I took this up to 15 minutes? So that's 900 seconds. There we go. Okay, so you don't have to keep hitting the... Now, it's still not using the top stage. Okay, let's keep going until it uses the top stage. What if I put in 4,000 by 4,000? Converging optimizer failed. Try that again, but I'm pretty sure that doesn't like that. So let's try 3000. 3000 by 3000. What do you think of that? Of course, it could be the 900 seconds. What if I put this back to 600 seconds? Oh, I put 6,000 seconds. 600 seconds. Okay. Again, thinking it's not using the top stage for whatever reason. I don't understand that. I really, really don't. But it thinks it can get to 3000 by 3000. Okay, what about 4000 by 4000? Optimizer failed. It doesn't say unreachable, just says failed. 3500 by 3500. And I think we got another fail situation here. Yeah. What if I increase the length? 900 seconds. Nope. Okay, let's go back to 600 seconds, and I think it was 3000 by 3000. I think it kind of liked, if I recall. We'll see what it does. But I think my ability to try and get a circular orbit with an SRB on the top, I think that's really where my issue is. Okay, you said before, I'm pretty sure you said you were going to do this for me. Maybe not. Okay, 2000 by 2000. Now it says it's unreachable. Very weird. 1000 by 1000. I think this is just too finicky. Saying it's unreachable. Oh, wait, it's gone to coast before, coast after. Do I click on that? Am I doing that? Okay, so let's go back to 3000 by 3000. I might be clicking on that by accident. Okay, seems to like that. And with just a little bit left over, now it's starting to use that top stage. 3500 by 3500. And now it's not using... Okay, I increased the altitude and now it's not using the top stage. What? Oh, it just failed. Okay, let's go to 3000 by 3000. Let's see what it does. I'm really running out of... Not... You know, getting to the point where I'm going to say, forget it. Okay, we're going to engage this. It's engaged. Go. Oh, no. It's saying it doesn't have enough now. It doesn't have enough. I don't know. All because I want to do the two contracts at the same time. Like, it feels like I should be able to, but again, keep in mind, I'm like 16 days from being able to, with better motors of all kinds. But I don't want to wait. I kind of like, and this is just me, but I like making the maximum use of limited technology. Even when I have better technology on the horizon, to just want to just, no, I can get more out of this one. I can get more out. I don't need to build a new one. Well, we'll see. Okay, we're about to again lose the Atlas stage. Very steep once again. Okay, on to the Stentor stage. Again, it should do the full burn with the Stentor. So we'll time warp that away. Very, very steep. Again, we are going for a 3,000 kilometer apogee, so we're just cracking almost 1,000 kilometers on the apogee. So, kind of makes sense what it's doing. Okay, and we'll take the time warp off very, very soon. Okay, we're at about 20 seconds to stage separation, so I'll take that time warp off. Apogee still not at the target, so this doesn't sound encouraging, does it? Not at all. It does know that the following the... Okay, now we're into the coast stage. So what's it... Oh yeah, that's right. Now it's gonna pitch way down. Must. Oh no, the apogee got up to 3,700 kilometers. So if it thinks it's got the DV to do the rest of this, still has to bring the inclination over too. The inclination's only 91 degrees. But we're going way up. Way up, way up. It's still sorting itself out, so I'm gonna let it... Maybe we can do a little physics warping while it sorts itself out. Oh, seems to be there. Okay, so we got 540 seconds. Okay, it really feels like it was drifting off course there. Oh, maybe not. No, it's not correcting anything, so okay. Oh, I see the optimizer just failed, so I might be deciding that... Whoa, why is it... I've just noticed, why is... Wait, what? Beep, bop, bop, beep, bop, 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 bop. Okay, it's 400 seconds. Okay. Yeah, boom. It does have to move the inclination over, but that's a pretty cocky angle you've just put this on. Let's keep going up. This doesn't feel right. This feels like it's out of control. And we're not, like... We have very little... There's the Great Lakes down here. I was just looking at where we are. See that? And over there, Nova Scotia, Long Island. Okay, where are we at? Where are we at? We still got 300 seconds in our coast left. It does have... I'm not out of... Like, there's no way I'm out of... Oh, I'm out of propellant! It's out of control. Oh dear. It used up all its RCS propellant. Well, this is not good. So when I said it was out of control, it was out of control. I didn't think... This is not good. Yeah, it's just I mean, we're gonna let it go, but it's not pointing in the right direction. But it's not even trying to point in the right direction. See that? It doesn't know it's out of propellant, so maybe it thinks this is fine. Maybe it's set itself up way down there, and I don't know. You see this? Like, it's not like McJeb is trying to point a different way. The roll, pitch, and yaw indicators are dead in the middle. Well, anyway, we've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. And the next one. And that's still not enough. One more. Nah. Okay, we're giving up. We're giving up on this whole trying to put it into a circular orbit using SRBs. That is the low eccentricity and SRB orbital insertion, I think, are not conducive to each other. So reverting to the editor. I am going to stick with the Explorer one. I think it's the right plan. But we're going to lose all of this business. We're going to lose this business. We're going down just to the 1 because I'm pretty sure it's just going to work fine. We're bringing this down. I think it was like 400 meters. Oh, you know what? I used to have a little... Yeah, now I don't need that decoupler because I can go to this little ring decoupler. Bring that down. And that to match. Okay, is that's been tooled? That's good, that's good, that's good. Let's check our staging. So these two stage at the same time. That's all fine, that's all fine, that's all fine. So completely different game plan. Just giving up on the whole Sun-Synchronus bit. It was the low inclination that was, or the low eccentricity that was messing that up. But we are gonna still go for the atmospheric analysis business. So let's take a look at our contract. Make sure, so that's this one. We need to be above a perigee of above 250 and apogee of above 616. So let's see here. If we go perigee of say 300 and apogee of say 650, and the inclination now doesn't matter, so we're just going to go to the east. And we're going to look at our prime vector guidance business here. The unguided stage is simply stage 0. We'll do that. We will put in a coast stage after stage 1. And I'm going to try and take the fixed coast out. Okay, what do you think of that, McJeb? What do you think of that? Are you going to work this out for me? Work it out for me. Come on, McJeb. You can do it. You can do it. Target is unreachable, according to it. Okay, maybe I need to go to the trio. I didn't think I did, but maybe I did. What if we put in the fixed coast length? And now it thinks it's fine. And again, now it thinks it doesn't need the top stage. I think it's a little messed up. I honestly think it's a little messed up. What if we just don't do the coast stage at all? No coasting. All right, it seems to like this. So this is 0 coasting. Again, says it's not using the top stage. There's no way that's right. But I took out the coast stage. It knows the top stage is unguided. Let's see what this is. And if this does the job, then we're going to call it and count our blessings. So no more polar orbit. Just heading east. Again, no inclination requirement, no eccentricity requirement, just a couple of getting above certain altitude requirements. And I do need to have the thermometer and barometer aboard, which I do. So that part is fine. But not going polar saves a lot of DV requirements. We're just going east. There's that pitch over, but not outrageous. Okay, coming to our stage separation in 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Ooh, a little bit of a knock over there. It's going to pull itself back onto that east heading. There we go. Let's keep a better eye, too, on our propellants. We did run out of helium last time. So this is 0 coast, right? I think I just said just go for it. No coasting, no coasting, just... So it should be firing the SRB as soon as this fellow runs dry. Going for a target apogee of 650. I'm not quite sure how it figures if it is going to put this to 650. No, it doesn't look. It looks like it's putting this at the perigee of 300. Because it's starting to bring the apogee down. So it's counting on the SRB to do the work. And if this can't do it, could just always go to the three pack. But the cluster of 3, oh, not quite there. And now we, okay, so it's got the DV. Unfortunately, the perigee is now dipped below. What's the perigee need to be? Actually, I think it was okay without the, it was very close even without it. I think it's okay. It says it's reached the orbital parameters, and it's got to stay... The periapsis is 250, and the apoapsis is very high. Why are we not... Oh, I got to do the temperature scan. That's what I got to do. So, let's do the temperature scan and the pressure scan. So, it's a little bit weird how this has to work, because I've already done this low space pressure scan and temperature scan. So what I have to do, I think push the button. Nope, that's not it. I got to figure this out, how to do this. You got to force it. Can I do I do it from here? Force it. No, that was a mistake. I right clicked. That was a mistake. We are on Explorer 3. Yes. Okay, that just is... So that doesn't do it. So I think maybe I have to open... I just got a notification of... Oh, whoa, that's my my contract. Oh, speed record of 9,000 meters per second. Yeah, look at that. Okay. Wasn't even looking for that. There's a forced run feature. I just got to find it. Okay, it's not in here. This is just the science archive. How do we do the force run? Oh, wait. Maybe I need to click on... There it goes. So you click on the little box here. So I'm going to do a pressure scan. What you got to do is do the force run on the pressure scan. And it's going to go... I've already collected 100% of it. So I need to now collect 200% of it. So we're going to time warp. This takes 10 minutes. I could probably do the temperature at the same time. In fact, let's just do that. Temperature scan. Yep, that just opens another window. Force run that. And this will run until I stop. I just want to make sure I'm going to do this contract right. Okay, I've lost communication, but that's going to happen because there's ground stations missing. Let's keep time warping away that 10 minutes. Okay, this is at 190%. Let's take the time warp off. Oh, time warp a bit more. It goes slower than I think it does. All right, it says here I'm at 200%, so we just are going to stop. And then I got to wait for this one. So, yeah, you can see the pressure scan requirement has gone green. It is transmitting this data. There's just no science to collect. Okay, and then we'll do that and stop. And again, it's giving you a thing. There's no actual science that's transmitted in the warning there, but you can. It's just a way of getting these to go green. And now you can see that it says checking. Oh, I said 2 hours. It's 2 minutes. 2 minutes of stable orbit. So clearly that is trivial. Now it's just got to count down 2 minutes, and it's got 2 hours worth of batteries aboard. We're calling this a win. I was thinking it's got to live for 2 hours. It only got to live for 2 minutes. Oh my goodness. Oh, okay. So I'm calling that a win. This contract's going to be done in, just to convince everybody. There it goes. Contract's complete. So this is capable of doing the atmospheric analysis contract. Going to call that a win. So what we're going to do is I'm going to very temporarily revert this to the just restart the simulation. And the only reason I'm doing this is so that I can see what these orbital parameters are. So we are going to open up, and so I can record them. We're going to open up our Visual Studio here. We're going to go a little bit of KOSing. We are looking at, I'm going to redo the Explorer boot. Yeah, so the Explorer boot is fine. I'm going to load that in, and we're going to change flight instructions number 5. So flight instructions number 5 is right here. And I'm going to go to what my data here says. I know you can't see it, but I can. It's 300 by 650. So 300 by 650. Current inclination 90 by 90 is right. Stop at auto stage. No, that stuff I didn't put on. Looking at PVC guidance here. Unguided stage 0. Coast stage is none. We're going to take that right out. Stop auto staging. Nope. I'm going to take that out. But I am actually going to put an instruction here because I did have no coast. I'm just going to write in here no coast phase. Actually, write it. Yeah, write it here. Okay. And that is good. We'll save that and get rid of this window. And now we can revert back to the editor. So now when this boots up, just make sure it does have the right boot file in it. It does. The Explorer boot is the correct boot file. We'll save that. We're going to push this into our building queue. There we go. There was nothing that needed to be done because it's virtually identical to the Explorer 1, except for the science that's aboard in the launch profile. And we're going to take out, let's go to integration. Solar Phase 3 is being removed. It's only, like, again, it's less than 1% done. I'm just going to scrap it. There we go. So that is happening. Their integration, it is going to be done in 38 days. And then we'll do that. In the meantime, as mentioned, if I go to combined here, we do have orbital rocketry coming before that. So what I'm going to do is probably start to investigate better rockets than this one. I'll also start playing around with coming up with a payload that I can control. And I think RCS is going to be my ticket to doing that. But looking at the time of where we are at the video, all of that is going to have to be for the next one. So yeah, that was a lot of playing along with McJeb, but learn something that circular orbits and SRB upper stages don't go well together. So now I know. So in the meantime, though, I am going to thank everybody for watching, and I hope to see you again for the next one.